How do I turn it around now? It's me trying to figure out how to turn it around.
Gotcha. Just action on that.
I don't know how to turn the camera around. Okay. Nope.
While you're trying to play with that, kinky fuckers of Twitch, we are here. We are live. We have a very special guest tonight. We're going to give you some... Uh-oh, there's that echo. Do me a favor if you can, ma'am, and... Oh, okay. I can see your laundry basket again. Now I see fingers. Hang tight, guys. We're fixing some technical difficulties on her end. Also, I'm just going to slide this over here. Make that full screen. All right, well, she's trying to figure out her camera, and actually do me a favor, Cuddle, and go ahead and, if you can, mute your audio until we get you talking, because we've got some crazy echo on this side. Actually, wait a minute. I think I can fix that myself. Hold on a minute. Ah, that's the problem. It's not even you. It's not your fault. Hold on. All right. Can you still hear me, Cuddle? Now I can't hear Cuddle. Hold on, guys. Professional stream. Cuddle, are you there? Now I can't hear it all. Alice is in the bathroom getting ready, guys. She'll be here just a minute. She's trying to get pretty for y'all. And Casey, Gingy's here. We appreciate it. Hopefully she can figure this out, because now she's not responding on text. All right. Well, while we were trying to get her in here, I want to go ahead and say hello to all of you. So hello, kinky fuckers of Twitch. We are back for the brand new year. Welcome to 2021. And as you see, we have a brand new goal. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers by March 14th, by Steak and Blowjob Day, in honor of Alice and I's 1-year anniversary. We want to get to 1,000 subscribers by then. And we're going to have a whole lot of great new guests coming up. Tonight, we have an amazing guest. As soon as we can figure out what the hell's going on with her, with her video. And we want her to tell her story. We're going to talk about sex trafficking tonight. It's a very serious topic. And we are going to get into it unabashedly, uncensored, and direct. We are going to be very blunt and honest about it. We're going to give you the warning signs, what to look for. We're also going to tell you what it's not. Because we are firm believers of helping actual victims and being advocates for victims and making sure that people get the help they need. But also we need to make sure that people are not using this as a punchline or a tactic to tear down others. That is the goal. And I want to make sure that she has an opportunity to tell her story without any prompting from me or anything like that. She reached out to us, frankly, being extremely upset with what we're dealing with because she's an actual victim of trafficking and seeing what's being claimed. She wanted to reach out as a survivor because she knows that false allegations can discredit actual survivors. And she's just appalled with all this like we are. So we just have to figure out what the hell's going on with her video. Give me 1 second, guys. I can't hear you. The screen blacked out. Okay. So hold on a minute. That's part of the problem here. She can't hear me, which does not help. So let's try. And now she's apologizing. Hold on. Not your fault. Hold on. I probably screwed something up there. Can you hear me now? All right, so she can hear me now. Great. So we're going to go with that. She can apparently hear me, so that's good. That's step 1. Now she can hear me. So that's good. Now, Cuddle, if you can go ahead and unmute and let's just test your audio for a minute. Let's see if it works.
Can you guys hear me?
Can you guys hear her? Hey, all right, cool. We can hear you. We can't see you, but we can hear you. So we're half of the battle. Let's see if we can get. Now it's trying to load your camera. Let's. Oh, I see boobs. Whoa. Okay. Yay!
Sorry. I can't see where it's going.
All right. So hold on a minute. Now, the only thing we're going to have to do here, ma'am, is we're going to have to make sure that you mute me when you're not talking. And if we...
The camera, because I can't face what it still doesn't give me the option to.
Oh, okay. So it's not giving the option to flip it, so that's fine.
Yeah, and I can't see you guys either.
You won't be able to see me unless you pull up the stream.
Okay.
Which actually, you might just need to turn the volume way down on your phone. And just turn it down to the bare minimum. And then try to see maybe if you can pull up the call otherwise, or we'll figure it out. don't know why. Hold on a minute.
Okay, I got Twitch pulled up. It's playing an ad.
Can you still hear me now?
Yes, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but why is it still so?
I don't understand why there's not an option to turn it around here.
I'd have to pull it up on my phone to look at it and explain it. Well, now I don't see it at all. There we go. Okay.
It's just I can't. It's facing the other way, so I can't see the tab.
So you might just have to like hold your finger on the other side of it and hit the mute button in between talking. Because here in a minute, I'm going to go ahead and... Yeah, she doesn't have headphones, guys, unfortunately. So we're doing the best we can. Some are technically challenged, and that's okay. She wasn't expecting to be on the podcast this quick, but I wanted to get her on here to have her tell her story. So the other thing that's going to help this guy is obviously, too, is... once she starts talking, I'm going to mute myself so you guys can hear. So, that being said, Cuddle, God, the echo's terrible. Cuddle, if you can, I've already told them kind of what the brief version of this is, that you're a human trafficking survivor, and that you reached out to us expressing support for what we're going through, and wanted to tell your story. And we obviously wanted to give you a platform to tell that story and to be able to help people spot the actual signs of real trafficking versus fake, and really provide a support structure for people. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to shut the hell up and give you your time, your space, your voice, and let you introduce yourself and tell people about your story. So I'm now going to shut up and give it to you and let you run with it. And guys, again, if you're on TikTok, please do come to Twitch, twitch.tv/beastinthebells, so you can hear this amazing person's story. And Cuddle, that's all you.
Well, hi, I'm Cuddles. I've been through a lot in my journey through life, and I happened to come across an opportunity here to explain my story. And it's a deep one. I was about 24, 34 now, so this is about 10 years ago. And I was starting to explore the kink community, come across a few websites, communicated, and got to know a couple different people, and started interacting with them, and found that I loved the kink community, or at the time, what I knew of the kink community. I connected with a gentleman who considered himself to be a dom. We talked, we got to know each other over the course of a couple months, and we became rather close. He convinced me that it was, a thing that he wanted to pursue long term, and he wanted me to move in with him and his pregnant wife, or his first slave, however you want to put it. I agreed. I bought my ticket. He did not. Paid for everything. We set a date, and I was supposed to go home to him, and we were supposed to live a healthy, happy poly life, and it was far from when I got there. Everything that was displayed in our chats, in our conversations with one another, was completely different than what it was in person. I got there, and I was told, don't worry about not having all your stuff here. We'll make sure you get what you need. And it should have been the first red flag right there, that I didn't need anything. Everybody needs their belongings. Your clothes, your phone, everything. When he told me that he would make sure that he had everything I needed and we would take care of it together, I believed him. When I got there, I was told to hand over my possessions. I was told to hand over my credit cards, my IDs, every password, every email. They were no longer mine. Now here I am coming from New York, going to Indiana. I have no one now. I was completely stranded without any family members, any communication. I was used as a rag doll for whatever purpose and intents that he wanted. He threw around the words using me as a breeder, which would mean he would have me impregnated by not only himself and or other men. I had no choice in those options. I didn't get a say of when or where. Sorry guys, it's really hard. 10 years later and it still hits home. It was basically stripped of my identity. I became an it. I didn't go to the bathroom without asking. I didn't eat without asking. I didn't move from where I sat without asking. And oftentimes it was the no answer. And at that point you just sit there. Or, well, I got my ass beat. And not in the fun way. I wasn't allowed to call any of my family or friends. I never met any of his family or friends. Anything that I did online, my internet was very closely monitored. As I said before, he had all of my passwords and things like that. I was used to entice other women that we were a happy, loving home, and there was no home. I was in an abandoned house. There was no heat, no hot water. I was left with his 2 cats and a dog. The only food in that house was the cat and dog food. So naturally, after time, what a normal human would do when they're that hungry? They eat it. He would come up and show up randomly to this house, use me for whatever purposes he had. Oftentimes it would be him and several other gentlemen. And from there, I made a plea to him one day that maybe I could use my cell phone to make a doctor's appointment because I had some headaches or whatever excuse I used at the time. He said yes. That was the first time in 2.5 weeks that I had seen my cell phone. I called my father. I begged for him to come get me, and he did. He was not happy, but he came and got me. There's a very light and dark side to knowing what's okay in kink relationships and things like that. I thought for the longest time this is what it was supposed to be. This is happy. This is what you're supposed to be, and this is how you're supposed to do it. It's not. That's not how it goes. And thank God my story didn't end there. It's a daily struggle even now for little things, getting to know someone, getting to trust someone. I don't have a very big trust factor. Even saying hello to someone, my eyes immediately go to the floor because eye contact was not allowed. I was not allowed to look at another human's eyes. If I did, I was in big trouble. If I were to make money at, the jobs that he placed me in, I didn't see a dime. I never saw money. I never saw anything except the 4 walls that I lived in and wherever he put me from there. I don't ever want another girl to feel, or even a guy to feel the things that I feel. I never came forward to anybody. I never said anything to anybody except my dad. And now you guys.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you again for having the courage to come on this show and talk about this. And to give you guys a backstory, Knives, and those who are just joining, Bubbles is somebody who reached out to us. Sorry, Bubbles. Why did I say Bubbles? Cuddles. Cuddles, Bubbles. Sorry, Cuddles is somebody who reached out to us. Just originally loving what we were doing. And by the way, Cuddles, are you still there? Just making sure, because I know we're having some tech issues. You can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure. We have to have her mute between, because otherwise we get crazy feedback. So anyway, Cuddles reached out to us previously just to show support, and then reached out most recently in regards to seeing the things that were being said about us, and saying that she was an actual survivor of human trafficking. And we invited her to come on here. Because here's the thing, is as much as we are fighting this battle, we have nothing but the utmost respect and consideration for... will you answer this and see who this is, please, really quick? We have nothing but the utmost respect and... understanding and sympathy and empathy for people who are victims of actual trafficking. And the reason why we wanted to have her on was because trafficking is a serious issue. And it's a serious issue twofold. One being in regards to... Hold on, who was it?
Nobody.
They called twice back to back. That was weird.
Nobody answered.
All right. Anyway, it's a serious issue. Will you see what's...
I don't...
It's a serious issue in regards to survivors, but it's also a serious issue when people take that challenge that somebody like she is facing and use it for their own personal goals to say that it's happening. And before I have you guys ask her any questions that you might have or otherwise, I pulled up a website earlier, and I want to pull it back up over here if I can. Give me 1 second. And she kind of already said some of these things, but I want to draw attention to them because I think that they are beyond valid and really good information to what we are dealing with right now. And this is from the Spot the Signs booklet, which is the actual, kind of hand guide to give people things to look for, for police professionals to look for, medical professionals to look for, etc. Victims may have restricted freedom, not be in possession of their passports or other travel or identity documents, as those documents are being held by someone else. Be unable to leave their work environment. Now, this is not just sexual trafficking. This is also, human slavery when it comes to immigrants and forced labor and things like that, but it all still applies. Show signs that their movements are being controlled, be unable to move freely, be threatened with being handed over to the authorities, be subject to security measures and controls to keep them on the work premises, depend on their employer for work, transport, and accommodation without any choice, be controlled through religion, witchcraft, juju, etc., have limited contact with their families or with people outside of their immediate environment, be unable to communicate freely with others, be forced to shop at a place they would not choose, have no access to medical care, be in a situation of dependence, be given only leftovers to eat, or in the case of Cuddles, as she says, cat food or dog food. Come from a place known to be a source of human trafficking, be subjected to violence or threats of violence against themselves or against family members and loved ones, be found in connected type of location you routinely use for exploiting people, have false identity documents. Victims may be unfamiliar with the local language. That's a little different. Act as if they were instructed by someone else. Allow others to speak for them when addressed directly. Be distrustful of the authorities. Be afraid of that's immigration. Have limited or no social interaction, either in the workplace or their accommodation. believe they must work against their will, never leave the workplace, show fear or anxiety, feel they cannot leave, have to resort to crime in order to get food, may scavenge for food, be forced to commit crime, have no contract, have no negotiation for working conditions, work excessively long hours, not have days off, they might not know their address, they might live in poor or substandard accommodations, they might have no choice where they live. They live in groups, they live in degrading, unsuitable places. They receive little or no payment, have no access to their earnings, that's a big one. Be disciplined through punishment or fines, be under the perception that they are bonded by debt, have had the fees for their transport to the country destination paid for by the facilitators, be charged for services they don't want or need, be forced to open bank accounts, be forced to sign documents to receive Social Security benefits, credit agreements, or loans. Now, the reason why I bring all of this up is because what we are here to tell you is what trafficking is and also what trafficking isn't. Because anybody who uses the idea of trafficking, sexual slavery, forced work, any of those ideas as a way to bring somebody else down
It's cold.
is so extremely heartbreaking and makes it harder for people like Cuddles to find the help they need. Now, let's talk about, and by the way, Cuddles, I don't know if you've also have the Twitch open on the other source you had, but you were getting just tons and tons and tons of love in our chat. Were you able to pull up the Twitch on a separate device?
Yes, I do have it pulled up, and I'm writing down some of the questions that I see popping up as it goes by. It's going by pretty fast. I didn't really expect to have all this support, honestly.
I'm telling you, we have a great community. And one of the reasons why we want to do this too is not only are we dealing with this false bullshit right now, which you've spoken out against, but we're now these people even today, we're now trying to diminish Cuddles, trying to diminish the fact that we're having an actual survivor on this live podcast to tell her story so people can identify real signs. They tried to diminish that, which is just proof more of negative motivation. So let's get into some of these things here. I know you're writing down questions, but here is a few things that I want to touch on with like I said, with what we've encountered and what's being said. So I'm going to ask you some kind of directed questions that relate to the conversation you and I had earlier. And here's the thing: is I already know the answers to these questions because, as a matter of fact, in addition to having you on tonight, we have reached out to a couple support organizations that deal with human trafficking support and like relocating victims and all those. There's some great programs out there. If you Google, human trafficking, there's 20 different programs out there that are all pretty good from what I understand, from what I've read. And we've reached out to some of those to have, they all of them have the public speaking side or PR side. We've reached out to them to have some of these people on. In addition to people like Cuddles, we were lucky enough that Cuddles reached out to us, but we are reaching out because that, on top of our kink education, on top of our polyamorous education, we do, because specifically she was in a situation where kink was used to do this. It's a very valid point, and it does happen. Alice also at some point tonight, I want to have her specifically tell her story also, as Alice, luckily enough, did not get as deep into a situation as Cuddles did, but Alice also has been approached by an actual trafficker and has gone through that. But for the sake of our audience, I would love to ask you some directed questions, and please answer honestly and directly from your experience, from your knowledge, and just give them some insights. And then we'll get into some of the viewer questions also. So the first big one is this, and I'm going to ask you this because you already mentioned it, and thankfully some of our fans have already. Pure Sugar. I want to Pure Sugar. Feel free to answer these questions too. Because here's the thing, guys. Sex work is not inherently trafficking. First of all, but I want to draw attention to what she said, and this is a big one for what we've said and everything else. If you're in a trafficking situation, whatever it is, whether it's forced labor or sex trafficking or otherwise, if you have an opportunity to get out, you get the fuck out. Okay? And the reason why I say that is so case in point, she said too, she was stuck in the situation until she finally had the ability to make a phone call, get a hold of her father, and get out. Now, let me ask you something, bluntly and directly, Cuddles. If you had the opportunity to leave for even a day, to go hang out with friends or family, go hiking, do whatever, let alone 2 weeks, would you have gone back?
Hell no.
Okay. Did your trafficker ever give you the option to meet their family?
Not once.
Did your trafficker give you the option to go see your family for trips, vacations, otherwise? Holidays?
No, I was actually told my family was toxic to me.
So they demonized your family and your friends against you, correct?
That's correct.
Can you hear it too?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I've got my headphones on so you don't echo here, but I'm trying to make it so Alice can hear you too. It's funny I'm wearing this shirt just out of curiosity.
Do you share the same hobbies?
Did you share the same hobbies as your trafficker past the kink that you thought you were getting into?
I honestly couldn't tell you what his kinks actually were or what any of his hobbies were. Other than the conversations that were manifested online, person to person, he was a completely different being.
If let me put a hypothetical in front of you. And I mean, obviously he wouldn't have done this, but let's put a hypothetical in front of you. Say you were in this home and you were around him and he had left to go perform in a play. And while he was performing in that play, you had the opportunity to go to multiple dress rehearsals and record those dress rehearsals and interacted with 20 or 30 people there. More than likely, you would have said something to somebody there to get out, would you not have?
Absolutely.
Or would you have even gone to the play in the first place? If you had the option to go or not go, would you have gone?
I mean,
no.
She probably would have been forced.
Well, she might have been forced to go, but the reason why I ask you that is, in particular, one of the people that we're gonna deal with I don't care. We need to deal with it. Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't. It's unnecessary.
It's not unnecessary.
It's absolutely unnecessary.
It's not unnecessary because it keeps continuing. You can be angry back there, but I'm sorry. We're going to set this shit straight, and we're going to make sure that...
It's already straight. It's already
fine.
Obvious.
So to clarify, fine. That's fine. That's fine. Did you ever have access to a phone? Without supervision?
Until the day I called my father, no. No. Several times he said that I was receiving a phone call, and one of them happened to be my brother. And he decided to start an argument with my brother in front of me and then refused to let me talk to my brother.
If you, I know you said at the time, I think you said Farmville or something was a game. Yeah, and by the way, guys, I'm aware of the fact that this can be triggering for people. I'm aware of that. I know that this topic can be triggering for people, but this story needs to be told and needs to be told well. And I understand that for some people this is not easy to deal with, but this is a story that needs to be told and needs to be checked. And by the way, for those of you that are in here, if you are also a victim yourself, please do feel to contribute. And actually, since we just asked this question, so the minute you had the opportunity to get out, and so let me ask you this too, and I've already asked you this before we talked, but you were in that situation when you got out. Did you care about little things like clothes or otherwise?
No. I took what I could that fit in my dad's car, and I left.
Good. Did you have access to any finances?
None. I never even got my debit cards, my IDs, anything back from him.
I'm curious about things like personal hygiene as well, and what you did about those kinds of stuff. You know, taking a shower, tampons, if you're willing to share that kind of stuff. Like, did you get the best of the best?
Those were non-existent. So in the home that I was placed in, like I said before, there was no heat, no hot water. I happened to come across the instance where I did need feminine products, and I did not have them. So it was random items of clothing that I used because that's what I had. Cold water. It was about -20. This was Thanksgiving of 2010. So it was -20 wind chill. So it wasn't like I necessarily wanted to get in the water, but I knew I had to, just to clean myself. But nothing was offered for me.
Mm-mm. Nothing gets off that kind of dirt.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level. And again, I want to thank you so much for being willing to have this conversation.
Warm hot bath gets off that kind of dirt. Warm love hot bath gets off that kind of dirt.
To clarify something that obviously he took your debit cards and everything else, but I want to clarify something that, and this goes back to this list here of restricted freedom behavior and otherwise. He never gave you access to his personal finances, correct?
No.
And he didn't. I'm assuming that he didn't even give you, like, well, obviously you didn't have money to be able to go out to go shopping, and even if you went out to go shop, you wouldn't have been able to go out shopping by yourself.
Right. I didn't have like an allowance or anything like that. I didn't have any backup. What I thought I had as a safety net, just in case, the little bit of money that I did bring with me was not at my disposal to even use. I didn't have access to it. If I needed something, it was pretty much beg, plead, and borrow.
And I've had some people that we've dealt with this topic that have said, you know, $500 isn't enough, $1,000 isn't enough, etc. If you had had $100 to your name, hypothetically, would you have gotten out, bought a bus ticket, done whatever?
Absolutely.
Looking back, gotten an Uber, gotten a taxi, something just to get out of the situation.
Even if I could get 15 miles away, it would have been further away than I was.
Because you didn't have access to your vehicle or otherwise, correct?
No, I didn't have a vehicle. I took a Greyhound there.
The breeding thing is something that is apparently common from what I'm seeing. So Alice, and I like I said, in a minute, I want you to be able to hear Alice's story also of what she dealt with, and then once Alice has told her story, I want to open it up to questions for everybody, if that's okay. But I want Alice to be able to tell her story too, just because although she didn't, again, get as deep as you did, there's a lot of parallels that I think people need to understand. Because this isn't a joke. This isn't a topic to make light of. This isn't something that can be taken lightly. And I know I've already talked this too, but I also want to talk to, I want you and Alice also to be able to talk about like trying to deal with the legal aspect of this and how hard it was and how things can make it harder. But before I get into Alice's whole story, like one of the things that I find that was common was the breeding thing. That was something that he started trying to bring up to her, was this breeding fetish. And here's the thing is, for those fetish people out there, that is a legitimate fetish that some people have.
And that fetish is...
And we're not here to yuck your yum if it's a consensual fetish. But the difference is that traffickers will tend to use that fetish to, from my understanding, as a way to cover up prostitution. In other words, they say, well, you know, I will, like in Alice's case, the guy came more as a sugar daddy. And in your case, and again, I'm gonna let her tell her whole story. In your case, he came more as a master, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
Now we're not demonizing the MS dynamic, but it was brought to her, from my understanding, as an MS dynamic, meaning she didn't have a choice or a say because he was a quote unquote master. But the point would be is that, you know, in Alice's case, he said, well, I'll give you more allowance if you're bred. Now, obviously, a trafficker can use that because then what he's doing, I'm sure, is collecting money from those parties. And she might get, you know, another $100 allowance. But he might be getting $500 to let her be used, or $1,000 to let her be used. And let's be clear, guys, that I think this is the two big parts of this whole lesson before Alice gets up here and tells her story. The trafficking typically falls into two very distinct categories. And that is forced labor or forced prostitution of some kind. It is not... Now, mind you, are there traffickers who use things like modeling and otherwise to then lead into trafficking? Of course. 100%.
And then use that to blackmail?
And then use that to blackmail people? Yes, of course.
Threaten?
But I will say that from my understanding of the legality side of it, from this article, from her experience, from Alice's experience, from other people we've talked to, what you're talking about is prostitution. And I'm going to ask you this. I'm going to ask you this bluntly and matter of factly. And then I'm going to have Alice take over here for a minute. But Cuddles, let me ask you an honest question as a survivor of this, knowing you've been through this. If somebody gave you the option, and I know you own your own business, and I'm extremely proud of you for what you're doing and otherwise. But say prior to that, if somebody came to you and offered you an opportunity to live in a very nice home, come and go as you please, have things taken care of, have income taken care of, have access to other funds to pursue your own goals, have them support you and care for you in your own dreams, and gave you the opportunity to have a public platform to speak on, to be live on podcasts when you want to do whatever else you want to do, would any of those things, even if it involved content creation of the adult variety, would any of those things raise a red flag for you? Would any of those things in the back of your mind, knowing what you've been through, would any of those things be like, maybe I need to be concerned?
No, because that was the original. Basically, what you're describing is what I thought I was getting into, and those are the things that I had looked forward to. Content is content. Sexual variety, sex working is different than sex trafficking. It would have been my choice. It would have been together. It would have been a team effort. What I went through was not. So, to me, what you just described, I don't see any red flags there.
And one other question, and then again, I'm going to let Alice take over. How good at you were hiding it? And this, let me, because I know you were stuck in this situation. So you were in this house. But what I'm trying to address to is, like, say you had been on a webcam, say you had been on a video chat, say you'd been on a Snapchat, which you didn't have access to any of those things. Obviously, if you did, you would have probably gotten out of that situation earlier. But my question is do you think, as somebody who is dealing with this, if you had opportunities, those, even being monitored, How do you think you could have put on a brave face and smiled and looked happy and alluded to anything, or do you think that, in my opinion, if you went through that, like, I feel like there would have been a sparkle gone from your eyes. I feel like there would have been an inability to smile without it looking strained. Am I wrong, or would you have struggled with that, even
You're
with having
pretty
somebody over your
accurate,
shoulder?
and it was not very easy to display happy emotion. It was not easy to display any type of contentment. There was none. If I smiled, you could tell it was a fake smile. If I laughed or giggled or did any of those things, you could tell it was being put on for a show. It wasn't genuine, and it was very visible that I was not happy.
I figured. I mean, there's acting, and then there's, there's and guys, that's one of the warning signs that they bring up on this topic is like she said, the inability to look people in the eyes, constantly like looking for approval. And frankly, honest to God, is typically, if you're in this situation, and as a survivor, you don't even have an outlet to speak. But if you do, most people can see it. And again, I want to make the point. I know the chat guys, I know you're referencing like what we're going through, but I really want to reference the point that although like this brought this topic to light, tonight is not about Alice and I. Aside from Alice telling her story here in a minute. It is not. No.
Well, then you need to stop talking.
Let me finish my point, please. Don't be a brat back in the background. You're going to get your point. It's not about us. Yes, we do want to set the record straight, but we've done that. So at this point now, it's about giving a really opportunity to this person and any other actual survivor that is dealing with this issue. We want to give you a platform. Not only do we want to give you a platform, but I will tell you right now, and I will make this statement very clear on TikTok, on Twitch, or otherwise. If anybody is in an actual trafficking situation and you have a way to reach me, TikTok, whatever, you have a way to reach Alice, or you have a way to reach any member of our community, because we have an amazing community we've built here. We have an amazing family we've built here on Discord, on Twitch, on YouTube. If you have any way to get word to us, let us know. We work from home. Primarily. Even my day job, primarily I work from home. And if we have to drive 100 miles, 200 miles, 500 miles to come help you get out of that situation, we will do so. Alice or I will come get you. We will take you to wherever you want to go. We'll feed you on the way. Whatever you need.
Whatever you want to eat.
Whatever you want to eat.
Or, whatever you don't want to eat.
No pressure, no expectations, no questions. If you need to get out.
Maybe you haven't had a hot dog in 2 years.
Let us know. And guys, don't forget too that and then Alice, I want you to take over and tell your story as you walk away. One of the other things too that, and I know TikTok's been pretty good about referencing it lately. Call 911 and ask for pizza. Call 911 and ask for some other kind of food delivery. Make a Grubhub order and put it in the notes. There's a lot of social workers and police officers have been trained to deal with this. It's one of the reasons why somebody who traffics somebody for years and years and years, or who's done all that shit, it doesn't happen because there's too many people out there that look for the signs, and there's too many ways for them to do it. We're not in the Wild West here where you can have some crazy brothel for 10 years or otherwise. But even if you can't reach us, guys, remember, like, again, there's resources on the internet, but if you're being monitored, like, there's 1,000 videos on TikTok that says you can call 911 and ask for a pizza, and they will come up, and not only will they help that person out, and this is not just for trafficking, this is for trafficking, abuse, anything. Not only will they come and help you, but from my understanding, if they have that call, they will come up even with sirens off, like to make sure that there's not a risk from them getting from the car to the door. So know that you have people like us to help. I guarantee you, anybody in our Discord would help. Maybe not. We've got 400 members, but I guarantee you, there's at least 100 people in our Discord who would probably help. Angelic just said, in case for those of you who are watching on TikTok, not here, anyone stuck in a trafficking situation, get to a phone, download the app Noonlight, press the button, and emergency responders will come to you, but you're going to need a phone to do it. But just so you know. Lyft also has a button. Thank you, Billy King. Lyft also has a button that you can touch. But get the word to somebody. And I think that you guys can all attest to the fact that she obviously, the minute she had access to a phone, she was out. She didn't leave and come back and leave and come back and leave and come back and leave and come back. Now, Alice had an experience. She thankfully was able to recognize the signs before it got here. But Alice had an experience. So I'm going to step up and let Alice take over and tell her story for TikTok and Twitch. And by the way, guys, I know this isn't a fun topic. I know this is an upsetting topic. I know this can be triggering. I know that this is harsh. But it needs to be said. And I appreciate those of you who are watching. I appreciate those of you who are still doing bits and subscribing. We love you for it. I sincerely, sincerely appreciate it. All right. Go ahead. Baby.
Yes.
Are you going to go over there?
I am going to go over there.
Well, they're waiting.
Yes. I know they're waiting. They're waiting. They're going to wait, and they can continue to wait. And if they're not going to continue to wait, then they can leave. They're going to do it either way. Hi, guys. What am I supposed to talk to these people about? My story? Oh, geez. The mini thing I put out on TikTok about my Romeo trafficker. Oh, dear God. Jeez, guys. It was just a moment in my life. I was being, like, stalked by a creepy ex, and I needed money, and I, was alone at the time, and my roommates were moving out, and I was about to lose my home, and I was feeling lonely because nobody really liked me at my job, and people were talking shit about me, and it was kind of like there was this nice man that hopped up in my messages and was like, hey, I'll fund this apartment for you and be everything you need in life. You're going to fund my apartment for me so that I can go back to college and finish my degree and become an adult? Whoa, crazy. Nutty. And then all of a sudden he just got even creepier. It's just the problem is I was already further on the kink spectrum than I think he expected me to be. And he just popped out with the breeding fetish and how he thought it was so attractive that if I went and met with other men, he would pay me more money to be his sugar baby. And he would give me all of these wonderful, fantastic gifts. But like, for some reason, I couldn't take them with me. Like, they never left the house. Like, they weren't actually mine. They were mine, but they weren't mine. Nothing was actually mine. He was a very possessive person. Very, very possessive person. And once the breeding thing came out and all of that stuff, and he wouldn't let me have anything, and it was kind of like, you know what? I don't actually like you. I don't want to be around you. You can keep your money. You can keep your stuff. I don't like your breeding fetish. I don't like that you want me to have sex with your dog. I don't like your partner, Eric. Like, I'm just going to step away. Please and thank you, sir. And it was very scary. Because I don't know how he still has my phone number, even though I changed it.
Jamaica too, don't forget.
What?
You said about him wanting to take you to Jamaica.
Oh, yeah, he promised to take me to Jamaica. Because that's where all of the swinger clubs are, and he knows how much I love to be a swinger. Even though Jamaica is like one of the highest trafficking areas. It's nothing to be sorry about. You don't have to be sorry. I want to feel for the other lady. I want to feel for cuddles. I want to hug her and hold her and caress her and her stuffy with her permission. And, you know, tell her how proud I am of her for doing such a good job. And tell her that I wish I could have showed her the warning signs before she actually went through with any of it. Because no woman deserves to feel that afraid and alone. Nobody deserves to feel that manipulated and scared all the time. I don't see the point. I don't see the point. Oh, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? You doing okay?
Yeah, a little bit stressed, a little shaky.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm
Okay.
I mean,
It's
I'm not sorry because
other
I'm the one
people
that did this
need
to
to
you.
know. Oh, you disappeared.
Sorry.
Let's go ahead and take questions if people have any.
Sorry for interrupting you. I'm not sorry because I'm the one that brought you on here, but I am sorry for bringing you pain because I know how it feels. But do you have something to add to that, to what I just said?
It's that's basically the whole reason is for me to be strong enough or find enough strength in the moment to tell my story so others aren't as afraid as I was, and they do tell their stories and they do get help and they do find a way out. It's worth a little bit of my pain to me for somebody else to get out before it's too late.
Exactly. Okay, all right. She's gonna annoy me until I let her up here. Ugh. Dogs.
Oh, the puppies!
Yeah. She is absolute Velcro.
Maybe I don't take them shit.
Yeah, she doesn't let anybody mess with me. Oh man. But I just I don't know.
Well, I look chubby from this angle.
I told you that earlier. That this is not a good angle for you, baby. You were listening. This was an emotional stream. Definitely letting the cat out of the bag in that one for sure. But
Yeah, 10 years is a long time to hold it in. Nobody really knew the full story until tonight.
yeah, I was also
Bits and
kind
pieces.
of curious.
Stuff
So,
on.
how long did it take you to adjust from that kind of lifestyle to all of a sudden now I'm a free woman with my own life?
It took quite a while, and to be honest, I'm still learning how to be an independent woman again. Because, while I do have my independence back, I'm still very much a submissive, and I still very much still love the lifestyle, and I would never leave it because of that bad experience. But it did follow me into several other relationships after that where I was not in such a horrible situation, but I still accepted a lot more than I should have. And so I'm still learning what's good and what's bad, and what really is okay to me as a woman and what is not okay to me as a woman. Somebody mentioned earlier what were my thoughts when I first got my phone back, and it was sheer panic. The one person that I could call was my dad, and I hoped to God he answered the phone, because if he didn't answer that call, that was it. That was my one shot.
Literally, that's it. What are you going to
do? and just that sheer panic. When I was in this home, I wrote my goodbye letter because I truthfully did not think that I was going to get out of this alive. I said my goodbyes to each and every one of my family members in that letter. I even apologized to my abuser for not being a better slut, slave, whatever he wanted me to be, because I felt guilty.
No reason to apologize.
But it's taken me, 10 years to even address the situation. And just noticing red flags in other people's lives now, I wish I had seen them myself.
I mean, but...
And I wish I had an outlet like you guys are giving me back then.
This person didn't even care about your well-being. Like, they didn't even offer you medical care. Like, you were fully convinced that you were going to die there.
He told me that I was not allowed to use any of the money that I was making towards the doctor's appointment that I was supposed to be making for myself. I didn't have health insurance, anything. He told me that I would have to go on a government-assisted plan in order to do so. In regards to the breeding aspect of this, I do truly fully believe it was his intent to breed me as many times as necessary. And who knows what would happen to those children, or how deep that could have gone. I know that the woman that was his first submissive that was pregnant did have the baby, and that is when she escaped. She did so while she was in labor, and she was able to get away as well. And her daughter is now 10 or 11 years old. So it's hard for her, excuse me, it's hard for her as well, because she actually did get pregnant, and she didn't want to be pregnant. So she now has issues with her connection and her bond with her child. And
would you be
quite
honest
honest
with your child about that kind of thing? Yeah.
When I turned 28, I became pregnant myself, not with this abuser, but with the relationship that I was in. It was very vanilla. It was very uneasy. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to be. And sort of the same thing happened, is I wasn't sure how to connect with my child. And partially that's, postpartum and things like that. But it was deeper than that for me, because to me, a child wasn't the happy thing it was supposed to be. It was, when are they going to take it from me? Are they going to make me have another one? And things like that were broken in my brain. It took a very long time to piece back together.
And nobody deserves to live that way. Nobody
This might be a hard question. What is the line between domestic relationship abuse with the kink community and trafficking? For me personally, now that I have experienced both the good side and the bad side.
Communication.
To me, it's very easy. I have my rights. I have my belongings. I'm free to go to and from wherever I want. I have access to medical attention. I can call my family. I have met their family. I don't have issues like that anymore. Whereas human trafficking, you don't have anything.
Yeah. Like, if I wanted to get into a like master slave dynamic, let's just say that I had a specific type of kink relationship with this man where I decided to do a master slave relationship, because I have gotten into that kind of kink dynamic before. It lasted for about 3 months. I didn't enjoy it, and we went our separate ways. It's a mutual dynamic that is communicated and is a full like conversation between two people. You talk about it. You both have like, this is my hard limit, this is my hard limit, this is my soft limit, this is my soft limit, this is what I'm willing to do, this is what I'm not willing to do. Like, you have a full-on conversation about all of the things that you work well with together. And if you're not cool with it, you don't get in the kink relationship. It's that simple. If your dynamic doesn't work, you don't force it to work. If you're forcing it to work, that's when it's trafficking, and that's when people lose their rights.
I agree.
It's because at that point, it's unnatural.
When I was talking with my abuser, before I had moved, it was supposed to be a master slave relationship. I was supposed to be more of like the nanny slave. I wasn't supposed to be sexual at all.
Mm-hmm.
For the primary basis of it. And well, I learned my lesson on that.
They took away everything from you. You thought it was going to be
There's one
something
thing he didn't
awesome.
take. He didn't take my life.
Exactly.
And I'm still here, and I'm still fighting.
That's all we can ask of you. I'm happy for it. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's heartbreaking, but
It's okay. Because I've actually talked to a couple other ladies that kind of, it's just sad because they share a very, very. It's almost like we would all, if we were in college, we would all be sent to the principal for plagiarism at this point, if we all wrote an essay on this. Because it sounds like the same story to people. And I think that's why it gets so devalued, because it's the same thing over and over. They all use the same tactic, the same like manipulative, I have all of this and I know you want it, so come get it. And it's not okay. It's not okay. And we need to know what to look for. And I guess I hope that's what this stream was about. And if it's not, like, I don't know. What am I doing?
Do you see the chat from Little Girl 89?
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Little, where are you at?
Yeah, where are you at? Yeah, exactly. The person down there, pure sugar, we're all asking for it. Yeah, no.
Yeah, look at the chat. Where are you?
Yeah, where are you? Let us help you.
It doesn't matter if it's physically abusive or not. You got to get out, baby girl.
Yeah.
It's not. I have been on both sides of the spectrum with both mental and physical abuse. And quite honestly, I would rather get my ass beat to go through the psychological traumas.
Mm-hmm.
The physical pain you can deal with and manage and get out. It's the mind games and that gaslighting that
It's the fact that I now
it's just
apologize
so
for everything
incredibly
for the
hard.
rest of my life. Yes, and I'm teaching myself not to. It's the fact that I don't know. It's the fact that you can't look people in the eye anymore.
Look at our community. Not that
Yeah, I know. I'm
I
not.
know. I'm proud of I'm proud of this community that like literally everybody's like, this is where we're at. Where are you at? One of us will come get you.
Yeah, she
Like that's
just. I just want to make sure that she does actually find somebody who helps her, because she hasn't said anything else. So I'm kind of like, say something else, whisper us something.
Right, because we never know if that was her opportunity, her one chance to say
That
something.
was, yeah, like you only get one. No, say something else. Oh my God.
please say something.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm not laughing because it's humorous. I'm laughing because I'm nervous. Does anybody else do that? Am I the only person that
I
does
do.
that?
I
just-
giggle if I'm nervous.
I love seeing that all of our people are from all over the states too. Like it's literally
You're just
like
like,
PA, West Virginia, New Mexico.
I'm not
Michigan.
upset. I'm not.
Please let us know you're still here. Now I'm really scared. Okay, for some reason, the live's not working on mine. I'm trying to go back and forth between the TikTok here to listen. Okay.
Okay, as long as okay. As long as little girl is okay. That's all I was worried about. That she was not messaging again. That made me really scared for a second. Oh boy.
Yeah, that was a little nerve-wracking.
I was like, no. Oh. I almost had a little mini heart attack. Ooh, I need a drink of water. Can you pass me my water real quick there for a second? I'm sorry. I've been triggering everybody like all stream. And
part of the reason why I'm sitting over here upset too is some of you who have seen. Just wait and hear what I say before you start trying to brat out on me. Some of you who have watched our stream before,
how did you know what I was gonna say?
honey, I love you. And you're literally my best friend. So yeah, I pretty much know when you're gonna fucking brat out. Some of you have seen the stream before. When I mentioned my former girlfriend Amber, the one who dealt with PTSD from being in the religious boarding school, the abusive one, and the abusive parents, that's an Illinois senator. And one of the reasons why this upsets me is she wasn't trafficked, but she was stuck in a situation. Towards the end, the whole reason why I knew what was going on with her is because she reached out to me. She tracked down my number and reached out to me because the person she was with got her hooked on heroin, which is one of the reasons why I'm so anti-drug. 420 is fine. But one of the reasons why I'm so anti-drug is because of what it did to her.
Oh,
And
baby.
she reached out to me and was in a situation where she didn't have a car, she didn't have money, she was hooked on heroin, she was stuck living with this person. And I drove, 2.5 hours to try to get her out. And did everything I could aside from dragging her out, kicking and screaming, but his hooks were too deep. And when she finally got out, her parents turned her away and she ended up dying of a heroin overdose. And for those of you who are in the St. Louis area, she was found in just a completely abandoned area of Washington Park. They just dumped her body. She OD'd, and instead of taking her to the hospital, she dumped her body.
Oh, I hate that.
At 21 or 22 years old. So one of the reasons why this is so upsetting to me is because I tried to help and I couldn't get her out. I did everything I could and I couldn't. So when I have the opportunity to help people, I do. And when people say otherwise, it hurts me because I would give anything to have save that girl's life or to prevent it happening from somebody else.
We're still trying to figure out how to get little girl.
Well, yeah, I know.
Skin puppies.
That one.
You've never heard the term skin puppy?
Mm. No.
It's just another word for baby. So we can call
It makes me think of those hairless cats.
puppies fur babies. What we can't call babies fur puppies? Or sorry, skin puppies? Ugh.
And by the way, I mean, obviously I can give the information because it's public record and she's not with us anymore. It's Amber McCarter. If you guys ever want to do a Google search Amber McCarter. You'll probably get a lot for her super great father, who is a ambassador and was a senator, and is basically the reason she's dead. That and Mount Park. Oh no, it's been said. He's the one who sent her to Mount Park in Palm Lane. If you look up Mount Park, Palm Lane, you'll see the abuse and what they did. He's the one who turned her away. Amber McCarter, if you guys ever just take a look, she's 21 years old.
Yeah, that is kind of. Yeah, you probably would need therapy after something like this. Now that I think about it. That's okay. That's okay. Our stream is kind of interesting. It's kind of a mishmash of let's share our stories. Oh, yes, Casey, that's right. Crotch goblins. Casey Jinja has crotch goblins. Well, I don't know if she has crotch goblins. No, that's Gingy. Gingy! Oh, hi, Gingy! I forgot that Casey Jinja was Gingy.
You know, just sitting here watching everybody kind of put their stuff into the chat here and knowing my story and your story, Alice, it sickens me that much more to know that someone out there who wasn't being abused likes to think they are.
Huh. Yes.
Twitch is the better way to say on.
It's
she's in San Antonio. Fuck,
okay.
Where's my
she lives in
we've got somebody
Sophie.
in San Antonio. Sophie's in San Antonio. Ice Dragon, get a hold of Sophie. Or Sophie in the chat.
Oh, is she sleeping? No, it's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, Billy King. I found it and her father voted against funds to help those who are addicted. Yeah, exactly.
Of course, Texas.
Yeah, but we've got people in Texas. Get her the fuck out.
Fucking Texas. Everything's in Texas. Everything. Good and bad. Texas could secede from the Union and support itself. Hey, I grew up in Texas. Ain't nothing wrong with Texas.
Where'd you grow up in Texas?
Houston. Almost got trafficked from Austin. Sorry. I went to college in Austin. Did a lot of exploring and evolving there. And then said, bye, Texas.
My brother lives in Texas. I'm not a fan.
Really?
It wasn't my style. Yeah, he lives somewhere like Waco or something like that.
Oh, there's nothing in Waco. There's literally nothing in Waco.
No, it was very boring.
Or other than like depression and history. I can't believe I just said that. Will you get me some Oreos, please?
Oh, April Silk. I remember her on TikTok. Yes. Where is that?
In the cabinet. Sorry. See, everybody knows somebody in Texas.
Yeah, you got gross one today.
I do not have gross Oreos. Stop judging me.
Y'all are good.
See? Yes, they are. I don't know. Would
Has somebody gotten a hold of... Oh, Sophie's on the job. That girl, Sophie.
Sophie's on the job.
Oh, she's 6 hours away. We have the...
6 hours away. Go talk to the
his number's in my phone. Give me my phone. Give me my phone.
Get off TikTok. Sorry, TikTok.
Sorry, TikTok. We'll be right back. Hold on. We're fixing something for this girl.
We've got a guy who cuts hair down there who's going to cut hair for our fundraising event. We're going to see if he can wait. Did she just shut off her phone?
Who?
Little girl. Is that what they're just saying? Oh, they're going to restart her phone.
Yeah, I think she said she's gonna restart it, and she'll be back.
Okay, good.
Hey, brother. Sorry to bug you. Are you near a computer right now or available to get on Twitch? Okay, well, don't worry about calling me. We've got somebody in our... So we're doing a whole special tonight on...
He's doing it right now.
Abuse victims.
Alice, can you
And
imagine if we didn't
we
do
were trying
this
to figure
tonight?
out one of our people on our chat.
Can I imagine
it looks
if
like
we
she's in a
didn't
pretty fucking
do
scary
this
situation,
tonight?
and she's in San Antonio.
Like, would little
So when you get home, can you hop
Where'd she
on
go?
Twitch and see if you can get in touch with her and see if you can either help her or pass her on to a resource there in San Antonio?
if little girl would have had an opportunity to cry
I
out for help if
appreciate
we hadn't had
We're at in San Antonio.
deep
Can we find out?
We gotta see if she gets back
Sorry,
on. If
we're
she
gonna-
says we're at in San Antonio.
right.
He's at a Walmart in San Antonio right now.
And we got people in Texas, but most of them are like 3 or 4 hours away from there. And I just remember, I'm like, as soon as she said San Antonio, I'm like, oh, holy shit! I gotta call my brother, my buddy,
My brother, my buddy.
my brother, buddy, whatever. Miss Fierce Sophia's got the...
The information. Yeah, okay. Ask her.
She has it.
Okay, perfect. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have Alice pass your number real quick to our gal Sophie, and she has the information. And Sophie's there in Texas, so either Sophie will hold you or text me back and get back to the house.
Awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Wonderful. That went well.
Do you have Sophie over here on Discord?
Yeah, right here. Oh, you meant over
Oh
there.
no, you can type it for her there. Here, give her this number. Have her text him with their info.
Na 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 na. We could possibly be losing viewers, but I don't give a fuck.
Sorry, TikTok. We're back. I'm gonna give it back to Alice. But basically, we had somebody in our chat who was in San Antonio, who needed to get out of a situation, and we happen to have viewers and friends in San Antonio, so I hopped off here to reach out to them real quick. So I'm gonna give this back to Alice. Put over there.
See if we can't
See if we
have
can help her
them
get out.
reach out to anybody in San Antonio and see if they got any friends in San Antonio.
There she is.
There we go. This is actually a shirt that somebody, one of my fans sent me. And I like it a lot. Because it makes me happy.
How do you type on this? Not have typos.
Guys, I'm gonna jump off the Discord, but I'm gonna keep watching this feed. I have to let the dogs out.
Who let the dogs out?
Thank you so much for being on
I
the
really
stream.
appreciate your existence.
I appreciate you guys too, because it gave me an outlet and it gave me a safe place to be able to discuss some of the hardest things I've been through in my life, and I appreciate you guys both.
Of course, and you're more than welcome to talk to me anytime. You're welcome on our stream anytime.
Absolutely.
Of course. Do you want?
Hopefully, I'll get camera working next time.
I think he wants his stream back. So
No, it's not my stream. It's our stream.
Well, I meant your seat.
I will take a new soda though if you're gonna hop up.
But
Hop a seat.
love you, Cuddles. Hug.
Love you too, Alice.
Okay, I'm gonna eat my cookie.
Can you go grab me another soda?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'm gonna text her.
Thank you. All right, guys. Actually, I can take the headphones off now because she's off the Discord. And let me end the Discord here. 1 second. 1 second, sports fans. Hold on. I have to figure out how to end my call, guys. Sorry. 1 second. There it is. Boom. All right. Now you're stuck with just me and Alice. Hey again, everybody. So, yeah, a big again. Thanks to Cuddles for coming on and telling her story. And hopefully the friend of ours can get the word out and help the person in our chat. I mean, guys, this is who we are. If you have any doubt about who we are or what we do, you just saw it. Somebody asked for help, and we literally automatically, not just me, but our whole community just went woof and tried to help them. And that's part of what we want to do. And it's part of why we fight so hard to make sure that our brand is protected and our image is protected, is because I am yet to see a community on anywhere on Twitch or TikTok or otherwise, and I'm not trying to criticize anybody, but I don't think I've seen a community this large that is this willing to help. Maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm a little full of myself on what we've built here, but like Sophie and Welder and all these people, I mean, the minute she said something, it was like, I'm here. Are you here? I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. These are where we are. That's so phenomenal and powerful and amazing, guys.
Empowering.
That is what helping people is. That is what making a change is. That is how you fix problems. You don't empower false narratives. You empower true narratives, and you be a true source of change. Because going on TikTok or otherwise and saying that doesn't do shit. All right? Building a community that actually helps people, that does something. It's the same reason why we want to give back to the homeless community with Geek Grooming. It's the same reason why we want to give back with everything. I touch my nose a lot. I'm sorry. My nose is itchy and dry in this house. We need to get just a giant fucking humidifier because my nose is always dry.
If you didn't keep it at freaking 67.
It's not because it's cold that it's dry. No, because the heat would. Thanks, babe. Love you too.
You do.
You hear her adding me? You
don't moisturize.
He's reading her phone. Oh, okay. Gotcha. He's reading her phone. That's not good. Sophie, I sent you our friend in San Antonio's number. Even if you can just get him to contact the San Antonio police, or if somebody can contact San Antonio police or otherwise, if they're reading her phone, just get something there. And guys, that's what we're going to continue to give you. Thank you, Mama Sophie. Thank you, Fangirl Life, for letting me know. But yeah, we want to be positive. We want to be the change that we can see. We want to help people. We want to continue to spread our message. And that's one of the reasons why we fight so hard for our brand, is because it's not about us. Yes, this is a living for us. Yes, this is income for us, but we have other sources of income anyway. This is about building a community and building a brand and building awareness and teaching people. And little girl too, please feel empowered to go to your boss, go to anywhere. You're at work, you've got the opportunity. Get out. People will help you. 100%. And it's just crazy too that we have that friend in San Antonio, because the whole thing we're trying to do in San Antonio with the homeless shelter there. And by the way, Haven House, little girl, Haven House I think has resources for you also. Haven House is actually who we're going to try to work with on the cuts for the haircuts for the homeless and all of that. So, guys, if you have questions, if you have topics you want to discuss, let's get into it. Billy King, I'm proud of you for finding that information. I don't know if you also looked up Mount Park or Palm Lane, but that's some fucking horror stories if you want to read some shit too. They're all about curing. Well, they've been shut down, thankfully, but they were all about curing homosexuality and promiscuity in a Southern Baptist boarding school that instituted corporal punishment and all kinds of shit. Just about as toxic as you can be. And I think tonight or tomorrow, I'm going to make a TikTok too, specifically hitting some of these signs so people know the signs. Because this Spot the Signs book looks really good. It's actually not even a US based site, but it's based in the UK. But it's still a good resource. I mean, there's so many organizations out there for resources, guys. But again, obviously, if you need help, I mean, I know sometimes reaching out to the police or some of those people can be hard, and that's what our community is for too. We will help you. Anyone of this community can come as a friend or as a neutral party and otherwise, and make it look otherwise. Little girl, well, that's fine. We can try to help you, but do me a favor. Please don't use my given name. I'd appreciate that. But I need you to know that, no, Gingy's at home. Gingy's got lots of schoolwork. But Little, I need you to know that, I mean, we're happy to talk to you, but I will tell you that Sophie and some of these other people, they are our closest confidants and can be just as helpful, if not more, because they're closer to you. Just saying. Gingy's not here in the house, but she's on the. God love her. She logs on every time we're on. I didn't even text her and let her know. I didn't ask her to log on. She's just like, oh.
She felt like it.
I know. It's awesome. We love you, Gingy. LUV. We haven't known you long enough for the other one, but just we appreciate the fact that you logged in. Colorado's a little far. She's down in Texas. I think we could make it to Texas quicker than Colorado could. But hell, Sophie's 6 hours away. Angelisic, let me, you know what? TikTok live, I'm going to log off of you. Come over, Pop, I'm a ninja. Come over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Beast and the Bells, twitch.tv/Beast and the Bells, because we're getting great messages. So we want to do that. So come over to Twitch, twitch.tv/Beast and the Bells. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm pulling up your message right now. Hold on.
What happened?
She sent a message about her story.
Oh.
Their Cuddles was apologizing for her technical issues, but I mean it was staticky, but I think it worked out all right.
Yeah. I don't know where my phone is.
Okay. Okay. Angel, do I have your permission to read this? Do you mind? Is that okay? Can I tell your story? Is that all right? I lost her username here. Oh, there it is. There she is. Angel, can I read this live? Is that all right? Everybody's flirting with Gingy right now, and we're in slow mode, so her chat's gonna catch up in a minute. I don't want to read this without permission. I did follow you back, Angel, but just give me permission before I read your story. God, guys, we're getting we're getting a lot of amazing stories in our chat. And it's really heartwarming. I'm not gonna lie. Angel, let me read your story first here. And let's see if we can go here. And I've got all these messages, and it's sorry, you're looking at the top of my head, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. So Angel Isaac she said, I have a fake Dom story I think you'd be interested in hearing. I feel like the story should be told because it kind of affects me now, and I know I'm not the only person in my situation. To give you some background, I'm sort of a newbie. I've been role-playing as a sub online since 2017 and slowly have made my way into the kink community. I am mostly a brat, but I can be considered a service sub as well. The Dom, quote-unquote, I has severe mental issues, and I already knew that going in. I am officially a switch in a little. This is mostly online, luckily, so this person wasn't able to harm me physically. But basically, I feel like this person needs to be exposed, but I'm extremely uncomfortable giving names and such, which is totally fine. If you'd like to hear more, I'd love to know your story, your help. I do have witnesses that can validate everything. I say because they were either in the room or have read the conversations we have had. And online is a rough one. It very, very is. Crimson Tears, thank you for joining back into the chat, by the way. And thank you for telling your story. Angel, we would be more than happy for you to share your story here in the chat or otherwise. And that's one thing I want you guys to understand too, is that this stuff can come from anywhere. I also have a message from somebody, Seductive Silence. I don't know if you're here. I would love to share your story as well. But I don't want to do so without permission. So if that's you and you're the one who sent me the message, let me know. Man, online dynamics are hard, guys. And I know they're a great outlet during COVID and otherwise, but they're a hard dynamic because there's no, I mean, even in today's world, it's so easy to catfish somebody or otherwise, that online is weird. And unfortunately, what I've come to find too is there's a lot of quote unquote doms whose only experience as a dom is online, and I feel like that is a recipe for disaster. I feel like that. Well, because it's fine for them to explore too, but it's just.
I wasn't saying no to you. I was saying.
Oh, okay.
I was saying no to the dog piss on the floor.
Oh.
Pooping on the floor.
I have. I know it's a way to explore, but it's just that with dominance, there's so much with the psychological and the physical and everything else that I feel like if your only experience as a dom is online, I don't know if you can call yourself a dom. I really don't. I certainly don't think that you should be trying to educate anybody or otherwise, because it's just not the same. It's just not. It's fine for an outlet, but if that's your only source of education or otherwise, that's just not,
Is that you?
it's not a place for you to, become a dom.
It's a good place to start.
It's a good place to start, but it's so easy for somebody to be otherwise. I see, and I've got another survivor story here, and I don't want to share these stories without permission. Oh, this is Jesus. This is military base, which is even rougher. Allison, she's right here. She's
Cleaning up dog pee.
she's cleaning up dog pee. Sorry, she's here.
No.
Oh, okay. I just wanted them to let you know that you were here. Sorry. She found dog pee. I'm sorry. She's still here. Yeah, an online, it's a fantasy outlet. And there's nothing wrong with having an online dom. I don't want to knock that.
I'm the one that did it. You're the one that started it.
Especially in the time of COVID. I don't want to knock that or discourage that. I just want to make sure that people yes, please, Angelic, please type it and I will be glad to read it. I would love to share your story. And thank you for feeling comfortable enough to share that story.
Secure enough with us.
And feeling comfortable enough with us. Thank you. By the way, the fact that you guys how do you revive the gift thingy? I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. The fact that you guys trust us enough to share these stories is means a lot. It really, really does. It's a lot of trust putting into us. Ice Dragon, I saw your message. I didn't know if you wanted me to share that or not. I just saw it.
Ice Dragon has quite the story as well. She has quite the story.
Oh my God, I have another person sharing it. This one's is a survivor dealing with the Korean community, which, yeah. I have thoughts on that. Okay, so Ice Dragon, let me get to yours here in a minute. I have this one happen to be pulled up because they have their permission. This person's a survivor of gang rape. They were in Germany with their husband of 20 years. What happened was men under his command in the army did not like what he told them. So they attacked 4 women in the FRG building, working on putting away groceries. That was the last thing she remembered. She woke up 3 days later in ICU in a German hospital. As a person in the couple, they had to rebuild and learn how to love again. I hope that the army did something about that. Probably not. That's one. Unfortunately, please understand, I'm a huge supporter of the military, but one problem with the military, at least in the past, maybe not so much more now, but they were very much like the Catholic Church. And they very much covered their own. Kitty Coy, I have a story of abuse I would love to share sometime with a poly BDSM relationship. Try to keep me with them by saying they would take away the pets they gave me.
Aww.
That's really rough because pets are, people might think it's crazy, but people are...
Pets are like children.
Pets are like children. Angel, I will share yours. There's the other one. Okay, so... Please do, Ice. If you want to send me the whole story, please do. She's going to give me the whole story, guys, but to give you the context here, her story was similar to Cuddles, unfortunately. It was fueled by drugs, unfortunately, but she literally, just because of this podcast, realized that she was trafficked. And now wants to share her story. This is what we're trying to do, guys. Not all toxic not all toxic BDSM relationships are trafficking. Not all sex work relationships are trafficking, but there are real instances here, and people need to be aware of it. And also, by the way, guys, there's a huge difference between gaslighting and truth telling. Let's be very aware of that, because I know we just have a person in here in chat talking about they were being gaslighted emotionally and mentally, physically, and blackmailed. That's a good example too. If you're in this industry and it's like, well, I'm going to send it to your parents, or I'm going to do this. Like, that's something that's not good, at all. Please know that every 7 years your body regenerates, and I realize that not everyone has hit that date. Know that at that point, that person has never touched you every 7 years. This is true. Our tastes change every 7 years. Our body changes every 7 years. So, and I do know, I've talked to some survivors that have used that mentality to know that as your body has fully regenerated in 7 years, you can wash, you can, I know it's still in your head. It's not a solution, but it gives you something.
Yes, empowerment, bitches. Feel it.
We took care of it in-house before getting the MPs involved. They're serving life in military prison. Good. Good. Military prison's no fucking joke either, from what I've heard. Thank you so much, Ice Dragon. I appreciate it. So Ice Dragon's going to put her story together over the next couple days and share it with us, so that way I can share it with you guys. I appreciate that so incredibly much. And Ice Dragon is always here as an amazing mod, and we appreciate her love and support. She is amazing. God, guys, the stories that are coming in. Actual stories, not just bullshit, but actual stories. Wow, that was amazing. So I have another kinky fucker reaching out to us, who's been through some issues and is showing their support, and God, do I appreciate. I'm gonna show this to Alice here in a minute, but she's also a survivor of being trafficked. She doesn't want to share her whole story, but she's saying, if I could, that some traffickers use tracking devices to gain and retain control. So she had an issue with Life 360. So they were notified if they were at a certain address or any of that. Which we all share locations. Alice and I share locations. But that's not a tracking. That's just a location thing. It wasn't like a mandatory. We don't make it mandatory or anything. It's just like I shared my location. Well, I would have shared my location with Gingy, but she has a damn Android, so I couldn't do it. But just instead of me sending the address, like, here, just come here, right there. There's the location.
It took me a while to share my location with you, but that's just because of my stalker.
I want you to just read that.
Take your cancer stick off my desk. Thank you.
It's good. I wanted to smoke a cigarette anyway. Now, guys, I will tell you this too, to make it clear. So you know, Life 360, some of these parental tracking apps, things like that, they can be used to track everything, your text messages, all that. For those of you who ever want to know for your own safety, if you have an iPhone, okay, and say you're on a family sharing plan or any of that stuff, I want you guys to know, for your own comfort, or if you feel like you need to get a message out to somebody and you're worried somebody's going to see it, just because you share like say you share data, like Alice and I have a shared data plan. Not we have different phone plans, but we have a shared iCloud storage. All that means is one payment goes for both. But my phone can't access her stuff. Her phone can't access my stuff that way. So like I don't see her text. I don't even look at her phone anyway. I could give a shit. But I could, like, it doesn't like copy the messages or anything. So if anybody ever tries to tell you that, unless they have a specific tracking app, like a parental control app, They cannot see your messages. They also cannot contact AT&T or anybody and get copies. That requires a court order. Nor do your text messages share on the bill. Just so you guys know. I worked for AT&T. I've worked for other telecommunication companies. I know people who've worked for those companies. The only way that somebody can see your text messages is through one of three ways. Either they have to have your physical phone, there has to be a parental tracking app on that phone, or they have to have a police or court order to release that information. Those are the only three instances where your messages can be seen elsewhere. Just so you know. Dana Chick, there are about 1,000 websites. I mean, I Googled before this human trafficking resources, and like every one of them has a warning sign. Every one of them has a...
There are biker organizations.
There's biker organizations. Every one of them has something. But the warning signs typically tend to be the same. They're not allowed to leave. That's a big one. They're not allowed to have outside contact. They don't have a public presence. They're usually not meeting friends and family, either their own friends and family or friends and family of their person. These are, they're very, very common warning signs, which is why if you know those warning signs and somebody else is accusing a person of that and their signs aren't there, chances are it's probably not legit. Because I've talked to, we're getting survivor messages like crazy right now, and you just heard from Cuddles, and I've talked to other people also. And not a single one of them, if they had a chance to get out, they get the fuck out.
And never come back.
And never come back. And if they do come back, they certainly aren't smiling. They're certainly not doing things. And the other thing is they like, God, most of those people would kill for $1,000 to get out. Most of those people would kill for just a car. They don't have cars. They don't have a way to drive. So if somebody's like living and going and shopping and doing whatever the fuck they want, and going and seeing friends and driving, they're not being trafficked. They might be in a relationship they're not happy in, but they're making claims to get your attention or make themselves feel better, or God knows what. But if you're actually a victim of abuse or otherwise, you're going to get the fuck out. And there isn't clothes or other... A kid might stop you. A dog might stop you. But, clothes or some other shit's not going to. Okay, I have permission to share another story. They want me to leave their name out of it because their family doesn't know, and that's fine. So I am going to share that, but I will not give them that. I won't give their username just so they know. Yes, Julia. Anybody, guys, please message me your story. And we'll share it here. We'll share it on another podcast. Not that every podcast is going to be about this, but know that you have support here. And know that when you guys subscribe to this stream, know that when you guys support this stream, you're helping us get the word out about kink, about poly, about real abuse survivors. We're here for it, guys. This isn't some cheesy podcast about why your husband can't make you come. This is real life, real kink, real exploration, real education, and a real community to fucking help people. And yet, Sophia, yeah, absolutely. Sophia is going to be on, by the way, Sophia, our server mom, is going to be on Wednesday, and she's going to talk about her story. We're also going to talk, we're going to have specifically get into some LGBTQ topics, specifically the T side of that.
Not the T.
Not the T, the T. We want to get into that aspect of this lifestyle and those particular struggles and otherwise. I think that's important. Okay. So this story, who I will not say who it is, she dated the man for 18 months. When she went over to his house first time without his roommates present, she was drugged. She woke up, she was stripped of her clothes, had her hands cuffed behind her back and a chain around her throat. For 4 days, she was beaten and sexually assaulted by him and 3 of his friends. one of which was a cop, which is always bad. The only reason I got out is they didn't put the cuffs on tight enough, and I slipped them and snuck out. Which, by the way, also, ladies, please, God, there's so many sources on YouTube. Not to stop that story, we'll finish it. There's so many sources on YouTube that'll explain to you how to get out of zip ties and other things to make sure that you can get out. For those of you who know, I know this one for a fact. If you're zip tied like this, and you bring your hand down to your leg hard enough, you can snap those zip ties, okay? But there's a lot of videos on how to escape those situations. Please, it's an unfortunate nature of our world, but do your research. The only reason she got out was they didn't put the cuffs on tight enough. She slipped them and snuck out. Found a four-wheeler at the edge of the driveway that still had keys in it, and they drove the store down the road. The manager helped me, got me clothes, called the cops, and that's when I found out that a friend was actually a cop. It took 2 years for my story to go to trial. They got away with it and they were found not guilty, and I still have to suffer the pain. I am free and I'm stronger now than I ever was. What?
Oh, I was just given the attitude.
Oh, sorry. I was like, what did I... Sorry. Free, stronger now than I ever was. I'm more aware of the warning signs, but I don't trust people the same. But the point is that I'm free and stronger now. Thank you so much for sharing with that. Sharing that with us.
Whew. Sorry, I just like...
These are guys, these are actual victims. These are people that are suffering or have suffered.
No, they're still suffering.
Still suffering.
They still have to deal with this.
And that's the point, guys. It's not just about helping survivors. It's making sure that it is about helping survivors. Because you know how you help survivors? You know how you help victims? Past helping them get out. Yes, help them get out. Give them resources, 100% else. But the other thing is we have to stop giving credit to those who use rape, abuse, trafficking, whatever. There's so many things, sexual harassment, anything, for their own gains or from some conflagrated thing. Because every time it happens falsely, you're making it that much harder for women like Cuddles to be believed, to get out, to have resources. Every time you waste an officer's attention with bullshit, you're making their caseload that much harder to help actual people. And the same thing applies to DCFS. That's another thing that we don't talk about enough. I'm a parent. My son's 7. He's learning to play the drums. I'm so proud. He's not very good at the drums yet, but he's trying. He's on a whole trap set, but he's just got the snare, but he's doing good. God love my parents for teaching my son the drums or getting him to learn the drums. So just so you guys know, I have a son. He's 7 years old. He turned 7. He's in first grade. Looks more like his mom than me. Maybe that's because he doesn't have facial hair. Maybe when he grows a beard later in life, he'll look like me. But yeah, he's 7. I was actually, God, is that long? I was with his mom 5 or 6 years before we had him. So 13 years. Gives you a little bit of background on what I've been doing for the last decade. But DCFS is another one. I know a lot of people. We had one of our friends was contacting us on Snap the other day and was talking about how a member of their family was trying to use DCFS and all these other things to yank custody of their kid just because they didn't like her. Do you understand? I don't know if you guys know, and Alice may know more because she's trying to go into psychology, but I've had friends that work in psychology and social work and other things. Do you know how heavy the course load is on social workers on DCFS? And they're severely underpaid, by the way. But do you know that they have stacks? I mean, guys, well, I guess now it's probably not physical files as much as digital. But I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases that each one of these people has to handle. And probably a quarter of them, half of them are bullshit. And you have these people that, and they go on social media and they do this, and then they conflagate this thing because they're going to fight with their ex-husband or whatever. And all you just did was make that social worker's job that much harder. And frankly, you might have put a kid in more danger. Because while they're fucking around with your bullshit, butthurt case, some other kid that's getting abused or neglected or stuck in the system, for God's sakes, and is dealing with God knows what in a foster home that those people also have to help, they're getting ignored because of your bullshit. So I need you guys to understand that all of this has a point. And that we as people, we as logical, intelligent people, have to call this shit out. Because that's part of being the change you want to see too. That's part of empowering victims too. That's part of empowering survivors too. It's equally as important, if not more. Because you get shit done through social media. Not a goddamn thing. Not a goddamn thing. You're not gonna. You're gonna get a lot of fake sympathy and thoughts and prayers through social media, but you're not gonna change anything. And if it's fundamentally factual, you're not gonna go through social media. You're gonna go through the authorities. You're gonna do things the right way. Anybody doing anything else, and I see it on Facebook all the time. These paragraphs and paragraphs about this, my ex-husband, my ex-boyfriend, my ex-girlfriend, bullshit. It's attention-seeking bullshit. They just said it on, we were just watching it on, we just watched Cobra Kai. We binged the whole thing. And they made the reference. There's 3 sides to every story. There's this side, and there's the truth. And the other funny thing I found about Cobra Kai that I found really, really interesting is actually the guy in there. If you guys know anything about Cobra Kai or the Karate Kid, John Cleese was the bad guy. And Alice and I were laughing because of, certain things that we've dealt with lately or otherwise. And that John Cleese took over Cobra Kai and is attacking, these kids are attacking people and they're bullying and they're doing all this shit. And these bullies were using the system to allow themselves to continue to bully these kids and get protected themselves. So they're bullying kids and the kids try to defend themselves. And then as soon as the teacher came up, they're like, no, we shouldn't fight, guys. We should do that. And they very much played into the social justice warrior side. And it was like, holy shit. It's a problem. It's a real fucking problem. Fake social justice is just oof. Oof. Somebody play the sound effect. Oof.
Yeah, we didn't bother with trying to do the whole sounds thing today.
No, this is not really a. Now we can play sounds and we can do hype trains, but that part of that was not a hype train kind of thing. That was a serious heartfelt moment. Yeah, I mean, Tint Stoner, exactly. I mean, exactly. Now, mind you, I will say that typically DCFS is usually pretty good about making sure that they only take information from like neutral third parties, but 100% reporting can be anonymous, and it should be anonymous. But again, please make sure it's legit. Don't call it because they spanked their kid. Don't call it because they called you a cunt at the PTA meeting. Whatever. Help actual victims. Help actual survivors. Help actual people. Angel, we were happy to read it. Thank you. Hold on, I'm getting more messages. I'm trying to keep up, guys.
If we do not get to it, it does not mean we love you less.
Backstory: I was 17, working as a swim instructor, pregnant, didn't know how to drive, and in a very vulnerable place mentally, and wasn't a good place with my parents. Friend of a friend, they met when we were friends at my house, brought them to my house, and immediately they claimed me. I was on the age of 17 and didn't understand. The person, let's call them C, was 23. C stated that I was now their girlfriend. Then my friends and C took me to work, and C stated they will be there to pick me up from work. C took me to his house, and I didn't go back to work or see anyone for 3 weeks. In that time, I took care of C's child and grandmother. I wasn't allowed to leave. He took me over from an hour away from my home and out of the city. That is what happens. Here's another one. I'm going to leave the name out of it. 18 years old. Thought that I was in love with my daughter's biological father, and that wasn't the case. So when I had first gotten together with him, he made it seem like I was the only girl in the world. But truth is, he was abusive. He raped me, and he had beaten me to the point where I was covered by bruises. Non-consensually, by the way. Let's clarify that. Because Alice a lot of times has bruises, but she likes them.
I asked for it.
She had... Okay.
Wait. No.
She consented.
I pushed you.
You consented
and
to...
you, and
But you consented to them.
Pushed you.
Stop it. Stop it. I'm saying you consented to it, because saying you asked for it would be like,
I wanted it though.
bitch fucking asked for it.
I wanted it though.
Thank you.
But I wanted it though.
Thank you. But you wanted it. Thank you.
wanted it, though.
All right, anyway. He was very controlling, and he would never let me go anywhere by myself. Ow! Fuck! Fucking ears bleeding now. I'm trying to read a serious story.
Sorry.
But here again, guys, it's a common theme. He was controlling. He wouldn't let her go anywhere by herself. He controlled her phone. He was in control of all the money. And mind you, let's clarify. When you say you're in control of somebody's money, that means they don't have access to it. 2 things you guys understand. 1, you cannot open a bank account in somebody's name without their permission. Trust me. We had a hard fucking time opening up our legitimate business checking account just because of all the safeguards in place, especially with COVID. You cannot open an account without somebody's permission. You cannot add somebody as an authorized user without them filling out paperwork and signing it. And once you add somebody as an authorized user to an account, they cannot be removed by you or anybody else unless they ask to be removed.
And the banker literally sits there and goes, they're not forcing you or coercing you to do this, right?
Right. And additionally, they will literally go, you do understand that there's this person authorized on this account as well. Just so you guys know. Fun story time. And that means if you're in that situation, they can't control your money because you have the same access. You can go to the bank by yourself, take money out. You can do whatever the fuck you want. You're the same person. Just so you know. Yeah, and you definitely can't open an account without it. I can't even go into, like, Alice and I, to give you some background, we use Navy Federal. And on the app on my phone, like, Alice has the app on her phone, I have the app on my phone. I can do bank-related stuff in my name on my phone. Like, I can apply for a credit card in my name. I can add an account in my name. But if she wanted to be authorized on one of those accounts, we have to go back to the bank and fill out paperwork. Or if she wants to apply for something, she has to do it on her app. She has to jump through all the hoops. Just so, you guys know. So when they're saying they're controlling their money, that means that they don't have access to the account. They're not listed on it. Maybe they took their cash, whatever. Just want you guys to understand. Controlled her phone, controlled the money, was only allowed to be outside during daylight hours. That sounds like, I understand it, not to make light of your situation, but that reminds me of, like, being a kid, like, be home in the streetlights, come on.
I walk the dogs 3 times a day.
Yeah, Alice walks the dog 3 times a day. Plus, God, if I tickle Alice too much, our dogs go apeshit. As soon as it was dark out, I had to go inside and wasn't allowed out. If I went outside, he would beat me. When I found out I was pregnant with my daughter, he accused me of cheating on him. I have now been out and away from him for 5 years and still struggling with the anxiety and PTSD he gave me. Thank you for sharing that story. And also, again, this is the point that I make. Do you guys see the trend here? They're willing to have their stories shared, but do you see them asking for anonymity and otherwise? Victims of abuse either retreat within themselves and do nothing, or they go to the authorities. They don't typically go all out in public. That's attention seeking. The same thing is typically, and trigger warning, right now. Trigger warning for anybody who's thought of self-harm. But typically those who are serious about self-harm do not warn people ahead of time that they're going to self-harm. They just do it.
No, they just fucking do it.
They just do it. Typically, if somebody says that, they are doing it for attention. Or manipulation. I'll kill myself if you leave. That is a manipulation and gaslighting tactic. Get the fuck out if they do that.
Or sometimes you just want it to be enough.
Bailey Bug, where did you send it? Did you send it to me on TikTok? Because you sent it to me here, I can't see it. God, the stories, just the.
It's heartbreaking. It is hard.
Okay, here's more stories. So the friend of the friend, going back to the story about C. After the 3 weeks, I had to go to work to get my last paycheck. Since I got fired for not going to work, C drove me there, took me back to their home. That's when the mental abuse started. It was manipulative and brainwashing. C threatened to make me sell my body for money for their drugs. When I refused, they started to physically abuse me. They stole my wallet, my social security number, my debit cards, my ID. They cheated on me with their baby mama. C sexually abused me. They took my phone. They raped me more than once. C proposed, and I said yes because they told me they loved me and that this was love. But again, took her phone. Took her consent. You guys sensing a trend here? Are you seeing the difference? Do you understand what victims of actual abuse deal with? Please. Purple Dino, thank you. Proud of you. 10 months clean of self-harm. Good for fucking you. God damn it. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Bailey Bug, please do send it on TikTok. It's easier to read so I can pull it up. I'm so proud of all of you for sharing your stories, bringing light to serious situations versus fiction. I literally thank all of you from the bottom of my heart. More self-harm survivors. Thank you. I am proud of you. You matter. We appreciate you.
You have mass, therefore you matter.
By the way, I do want to say, guys, I do want to say, I know that this stream has probably been triggering for some people. I know it's not been easy for some people. I understand that.
Probably a lot of tears.
There's probably a lot of tears. I mean, hell, I almost teared up with just the messages you guys are sending me, then thinking about Amber and everything else, and thinking about the fact that I've at times in my life I was in the past, my good friend once said that he and I had the same problem. It was white knight syndrome. We wanted to help everybody. We wanted to care about everybody. I put myself in toxic relationships because I thought I was able to help them. And I dealt with mental abuse. I dealt with physical abuse, partially because, yes, a big grown-ass man can be abused. You know why? Because I don't hit women non-consensually. So I went through it. And I still, to this day, try to help people. At many times, my own detriment. Vixen, please, you feel free to send it on TikTok. It's the easiest way for me to see it. I'm glad you guys feel this is a safe space. And again, for those of you who have been triggered, I'm sorry, but I feel like this topic is important. I know this topic is important. And I want you guys to know that. Body dysmorphia. Alice deals with body dysmorphia. Block my abuser a year after being away from them for 8 years. By the way, that's the other thing too, is I don't think if you're abused, I don't see anybody egging on their abuser online either. Poking the bear, so to speak.
Yes, I deal with body dysmorphia.
Look, right now she's just a bald man's head. Weird.
I thought I was a large my entire life.
She's not. I had to argue with her. We went to the buckle. I'm like, bitch, you were not that size. No, you were not. And she wasn't. We had an awesome gay man help her find an amazing pair of jeans, and they look good. Really do. Frame that booty nice.
First you pee on my carpet, and then you be annoying. Shut up.
Abuser tried choking her to death.
I mean, he tries choking me to death because I think it's
That
hot.
I do not try to choke. Stop it. Don't feed the trolls.
I'm kidding.
Shit. But don't. No, not right now. No.
Let me
Nope.
let me in.
Nope.
Let me in.
Nope.
Mm.
And here, oh God, here's 3 more stories. All right, here's more stories for you guys. When I was 13, I had my friend's boyfriend stop by my house when my parents weren't home to introduce his cousin to me. We went to my room to listen to music, and the next thing I know, I'm topless and pinned to my own bed while these 2 boys touched me however they wanted.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. I don't remember how much I disassociated. Thankfully, my parents walked in. I was so happy I was saved. But no, my dad thought I wanted it and slapped me so hard across the face my body was thrown to the floor. After some time, I told my friend what her boyfriend did, and she didn't believe, and then told the whole school. Of course, principal found out, and I got yelled at by our school police officer for being told I was lying and he could take me to jail for false accusations. Which, by the way, isn't true. Unfortunately, even people who are falsely accused don't really have an outlet. Said I got suspended. Years later, I was married to my hubby and ended up working with one of the boys, and one of the first things he told my hubby, after finding out he was married to me, about what he did to me, but said I was lying about it. I never told my husband about it. Thankfully, my hubby looked at him and said, funny, she hadn't said anything about it, so someone must be feeling guilty. After he came home and just loved on me and said he was so sorry that it happened to me, and we had a good cry together, and I told him my side. And guys, if you want to share your story, send it to me on TikTok. If we don't cover it tonight, we will cover it soon, whenever we can. Here's another one. My whole life I've been sexually abused in one way or another and done a lot of mental damage, but the worst of this, 16, going into a relationship, I didn't notice being brainwashed. So by the time I moved in with him, I saw it as normal behavior. I spent a total of 10 years with him, and we have one little girl together. I left after the first time he pinned me down and raped me and didn't run far enough and ended right back in his grasp. Things were fine for a while, then they got really bad. At the moment I had to get out, when he held a broken gun to my head, and I fell to the floor, and there was a puddle of pee on the floor. It took 6 months to finally leave, and I moved away 3 states, now I'm getting divorced and fighting for custody of her little girl. I make sure everything is signed by a judge before I let her go out of my sight because I do not trust him or his family, as they live in the same house and claim they never knew anything about what happened. These are victims. These are survivors. Crimson Klutz, hold on. What's your The Crimson Klutz, is that you? Oh, yep, I'm reading it right now. I hope you don't mind me saying this to you. I want to share my story, maybe get the support I need to do the right thing. My husband and I have recently decided to open our relationship. I began looking for another partner. I found a former friend of mine. My husband and I had gone on several dates with him. I believed I had vetted him the right way. After several dates, myself and a friend of mine went to his place. This was for me to talk to him about how I was feeling, like I was being ignored and not worth having. Later in the day, he asked to tie me up. I consented to being tied up. I did not consent to anything beyond being tied up. I was okay with that. While tied up, he proceeded to rape me and try to rape my friend who was with me. I worry that this will not be taken seriously because I did not stop him, because I was more worried about getting my friend out of the situation. When we finally left, he told me when my husband deployed, he would take me away and keep me. When I said that will not happen, he said it will, and there's nothing your husband can do about it, as he isn't enlisted and I'm an officer. After this, I blocked him on all media. My husband and I have moved. I know I sleep with a shotgun by my side. I know I should go to the authorities and report him, but I fear if I do, he will find me again. And if I do not know what he will do if he finds me. Klutzy, one thing you can do is officers, if you go to another officer above his head, you probably have an opportunity there to do that. Where do my message requests go? Hold on. I have another one. Give me one minute. I want to finish this other story. This is back to the story with C. I was only able to get away because my parents called the cops and I was forced back home. I was able to back to school and broke up with them. C then started to show up at my parents' house, threatening to kill me, my little brother, my parents. They almost killed my cat. More than once, they threatened to burn my house down, shoot up my home. C was part of a gang, and I started receiving death threats from random people. She said it would all stop if I took them back, so I did for the safety of my family. I did not leave for 6 months. I still to this day don't feel safe, and I avoid posting on social media. I only recently decided I won't let them still control me. I'm a survivor, and I am strong. Yes, and so is every other survivor out there. Absolutely. And also, God, guys, that's the thing. You don't post on that if you're actually in a fearful situation. If you're actually trafficked, if you're actually abused, you don't go on social media posting about it. Because you would be fearful of what would happen. And also an abuser wouldn't respond. They would just go other means. I hope you don't mind me saying this to you. I want to share my story, maybe get the support I need. Oh, that one I already shared. I shared that one already. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with everything, guys. I want to share these stories. My partner's cousin tried to sexually abuse me because he was drunk. My son was with me and was a baby. I was scared to speak up because my partner and I hadn't dated long. And I didn't want him to seem like I was causing drama. But when it did get addressed, they tried turning it in on me, saying I'm making it up to get a payback on him for saying something they are now saying, that I have to apologize if I did something wrong, as his family are believing his lies, which makes me feel like shit for even speaking up. The night it happened, when I was out, I ran out crying my eyes out, and he was telling me not to tell my partner. Given her bad anxieties and trust issues towards men, they don't know. Again, I know this is a very different stream than usual, but I'm hoping it's helping people. Are you grabbing me for a reason?
Yes,
What?
because I have to tell you something.
Yes.
Can you mute the mic for a second? Sorry.
So, guys, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna end the stream a little early. And here's the reason why. We want to get these stories out there, but additionally, I do know that for a lot of people, this is hard to hear. These are difficult things to deal with, and whereas we want to be a sounding board for people and we want to give them their opportunity to, we also want to give people their chances to breathe. So in that regard, I want to go ahead and wrap this stream up and thank all of you, honestly, for sharing your stories. I know that we're now ending the stream because some people have been triggered, and that's unfortunate. But telling the stories is important. So I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you respect what we tried to do here and trying to help people tell their story. I hope maybe we've helped some people. I hope we've helped some people realize things. I hope we help people have an outlet, feel a little better, and just know that all of us are here. all of us.
If you have any questions, if you need to talk about anything, even if you think I will laugh at you for it,
She won't.
I won't. There is nothing you can tell me that I will be surprised about. Literally nothing.
And our mods here, guys, you've seen this community.
Whisper me, message me, DM me, Alice Rosebell, anywhere. It might take me a couple hours, it might take me a day, but I will get back to you. Please talk to me.
You have seen our community, and they support too. Reach out to Alice, reach out to our mods, reach out to anybody. And also, guys, if you ever have a question about anything that we do, ask. We are
Open.
we will always be
books.
open and honest to a fault. Good, bad, or indifferent. It's one of the risks of doing what we do is that we are making ourselves a target, and we'll deal with it. We are still here to help you. And if you ever have a doubt, if you ever have a question or concern, if you think I say something that's fucking wrong, let me know. Let Alice know. Let Ice Dragon know. Let Mama Sophie know. Let one of us know. Or ask your question. We'll give you an answer. We'll give you proof. We'll give you an answer. We'll do whatever we can. For whatever you need. No matter what it is. Please know that. And know deeply, truthfully, sincerely how much we appreciate each and every one of you that tunes into this podcast. Or this live stream. Whatever you want to. I don't know if we can call it a podcast because sometimes we're so freeform. But this channel. By the way, also, stay tuned because this sometime this weekend, I think I'm going to try to do some gaming on this channel. Holy shit, a game stream on Twitch? Who would have thunk it?
You want to play Cyberpunk?
I think I'm going to play Cyberpunk this weekend on Twitch.
No, you should play it now.
Not right now.
Play now.
Not right now. Why would I play it right now?
Play now.
Why?
So that I can play it on the TV. Actually, no, I'm stressed out and tired. I want to go do it.
Yeah. Go see what the dog's barking at.
No, she's not barking at anything.
Anyway.
And there's a lock on the door. Shush! Cállate!
Anyway. Never know. If I can't sleep, I might stream some games tonight. But for sure this weekend, I'll probably do some streams with some games. Just to give you guys something different. Especially since I have my spiffy new controller. I just was kind of, if not this weekend, for sure, starting next week because I'll have my new headphones. I'm excited. My headphones got on sale. But again, sincerely, guys, I appreciate the community that you're building with us. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate, God, the subscriptions and everything. Just, especially because I see so many Twitch creators that struggle to create an audience. And you guys have built this with us so quickly, and we continue to grow. And it's awesome. It's literally just awesome. So guys, thank you sincerely so much for everything you do, for your support of us. Know that we love you. Know that we appreciate you. And thank you guys so very, very much. And actually, before I log off, I'm going to see if my buddy is on because we might do a raid. Do a positive raid. I got a good friend of mine that I do theater with. He's an awesome performer, actually. And, hey, baby, do me a favor. On your Twitch real quick, can you see if Hurricane Dave OG is live right now? If he is, we're gonna rate him.
Hurricane Dave?
Yeah, Hurricane Dave OG. See if he's
Offline.
damn it. All right, well I was gonna rate my buddy, but he's not live right now. And then Miss Boo gifting the subs. Thank you. That's a great way to end out. Is there anybody on stream that's good that I can raid? I want to raid him. I want to give him something positive. I want to lighten the mood. I know our viewer count's already going down because we're signing off, but if there's somebody online, I'd like to raid somebody for God's sakes.
Good God.
We gotta start. You know what? That's me and Alice's mission tonight and this weekend. We're gonna start going through Twitch and finding cool people, so we can start raiding people. Because I feel bad that we never have anybody to raid.
Does anybody know anybody to raid though?
Just you know what? Just go to.
We don't have any.
Do me a favor. Just go to twitch.tv. Just go to twitch.tv right now and see who's live.
Okay.
See if there's an interesting stream really quick that we can do. Or if you guys have a suggestion for somebody to raid, that's cool too. I'm gonna be playing Cyberpunk initially, by the way, to start. But I'll probably after that go to probably do some Warzone or something. We'll mix it up a little bit. But I'm really excited to play Cyberpunk on this amazing gaming PC I have. So
Shaggy and Creep, Carly streams, Juice Box.
either sexy or funny. Let's go for sexy or funny. Let's get him out of a chat dynamic. Let's watch him have something cool.
This is a cute little girl.
Okay, sure. Let's raid them. What's the name? All right, guys. Again, seriously, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Let's rock this raid. Whoever this new mystery person is, let's show them a little love.
Carly streams.
Carly.
Hey.
By the way, guys, also, sorry, really, really quick. If any of you have Twitch streams, let us know. Send us a message. Oh, Welder said raid Amaranth. I see it, Welder. I got you. Are they live?
Yeah, she's on.
All right, I'll raid her. That sounds good. But if you guys have a Twitch stream and you want to grow it up and you're gonna be live, although you're usually in here with us, let us know. All right, we're gonna raid Amaranth, guys. Thank you so much. Have an amazing night. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sincerely. Somebody said Hollow Hatter too.
She was like, oh my god.
Here they come. Followers only chat though. Watch your view count just spike. No, go to Amaranth.
Amaranth?
Amaranth. I didn't rate her. I rated Amaranth. Her mod. Is she cute? Oh, she's doing an ASMR stream. I want to hear it.